Hello, everybody in this breakout room. We are going to have a sponsor session today, and these sessions work a little differently. Questions you can ask uh, live in video, so you will be able to ask for sharing your video and audio at the end after the discussion or the talk, and then you will be able to ask questions. I'm really excited. I haven't seen this in working yet. So, just to introduce myself, I'm Yvette Erdag, working at Contentful as engineering manager. I will be your uh, host for this session, and then MIKLÓS Szennai is going to be the speaker. MIKLÓS is an internal software tool development team leader in Robert Bosch Hungary for the cross-domain computing solutions division, dealing with continuous improvement of engineering and business administration process by implementing automation solutions in the area of driver assistance and automated drive function development. I'm really excited for this talk. So the stage is yours, Mr. Josh.
Okay, then thank you very much for the word. And yeah, let me share my screen, and then I would like to start my presentation with just asking you one question, which is related to software implementation activities. So what do you say? Why do you develop a software? Do you want to sell it, or do you intend to make money off it? Well, the answer would be, of course, yeah, sure. But what if I told you that your software's goal would be to improve your company's daily work, to increase its efficiency, to help in the business administrational processes? And within our organization, this is the so-called cross-domain computing solutions here in Robert Bosch, Hungary, which is merging all the software-intensive actions related to the automotive engineering from this year on. We have a specific team, and I lead this team, which deals with software development, software tool implementations. And the aim of these software tools is to make the daily work of the colleagues easier, save time for them, and therefore save money for the company. So our tools, our products are not directly making money. And you can ask the question, is it worth to operate such a team? And to find out this answer, I brought you an example. And this example tool will be a fine example that we managed to achieve a lot of improvements in our onboarding process specifically. And this tool will be called On-the-Job Training Plan tool in the presentation. And I hope you enjoy it. So, first of all, what is the newcomer concept for all the companies, all multinational companies? In case of Robert Bosch Hungary, we need to set up an onboarding plan for each newcomer who enters into our company. What does that mean? This means that a physical training plan paper needs to be created containing a lot of mandatory trainings that need to be assigned to a newcomer, and this ensures that the colleague will have the necessary competence to fulfill a role. There are a lot of sources that these mandatory trainings can come from. For example, one source is the location itself. For instance, health, safety, and environment trainings come from this location level, or compliance trainings, or ESD protection trainings. These are all mandatory for a newcomer. But you can imagine another source like the department that the newcomer enters in, like having an orientation day about getting to know all the products that the department produces. Of course, you can imagine there can be group level mandatory trainings like getting to know all the group teams, the group members. And you can also imagine that every kind of job specific trainings, individual trainings need to be assigned to newcomer. For example, if a tester enters into a group, an ISTQB training is mandatory to him, or you can imagine the same for developers or system engineers. And so you can imagine that all these sources are a little bit chaotic. And if I would like to create a structure for all these sources, you can set up an organizational hierarchy. Whereas at the top, we have our location, the Robert Bosch Hungary, including the Engineering Center Budapest as well as a specific area. Then we have the main department level, then sub-department level, then group level. And also we have, in case of our department, a so-called business unit level. We have 4 business units, namely the driver assistance, the automated drive, the active safety, passive safety systems, and the automotive steering as well. And all of these layers can have their mandatory trainings that need to be included into one's training plan. But what we all had before our tool was basically just a Word template that we got from the HR. As you can see here, this is just a Word format. At the top, we have some generic information like the newcomer's name, the newcomer's group, as well as including the disciplinary manager. We have also the so-called department roles, like who is the quality management coordinator, who is the HR business partner, who is the data security partner, and so on. And then comes the list of trainings divided into 2 different sections, introductions and trainings. So as you can see here, this is just an empty template, but there is no guidance about how to fill it out. And for a group leader who normally needs to create the training plans of the colleagues, so these group leaders are not necessarily aware of what are the mandatory trainings from each level. So it was really easy to miss 1 or 2 trainings that would be crucial for the newcomer. And I need to admit that it happened a lot of times formally. And this is a serious issue because in case of audits or, for instance, from the law's point of view, this is a really big problem if a newcomer does not have the necessary competence to fulfill a role. So the request from the quality group side was to automate the whole training plan creation method, automatically assemble the content of the training plan by considering all the hierarchy levels and automatically inserting all the mandatory trainings that need to be included into one's training plan. I told you that the quality group requested it. Why is it? Don't we need to improve the product engineers' work? Well, of course, the quality is a part of our organization, so they also need to deal with daily issues and administrational issues, and they are the ones who need to deal with these onboarding plans. So it is pretty straightforward that we received requests from them as well. So this was the first request against the tool to have such an automation in the creation of the training plan's content. But there was a second request, which is related to some sort of inconvenience. So if the training plan was somehow filled out, then it still needed to be printed out, and then it needed to be signed both by the newcomer and the supervisor as well, and they needed to do it twice. First, when the onboarding was officially started, and then once it was ended after 3 months or 6 months of time period, it depends. And then this physical document, which was signed twice, it needed to be sent to the HR for archive purposes. But when they were needed, for example, in case of an audit, these documents were not necessarily found. So in this way, they needed to be recreated. So you can imagine that all this paperwork could drive a man crazy. So what the second request is to get rid of all of this paperwork, eliminate all the need to have a physical instance of a training plan, and make the whole onboarding process completely online. So what our team did, is implementing a web interface, a web application to create and manage the onboarding plans of the newcomers. Basically, it does what was needed. So it automatically assembles the content of the training plan by considering the hierarchy of all the levels that we have in an organization, and it automatically inserts the mandatory trainings from all the layers that we have in our location. It also makes it possible to automatically assign these selectable training lists, I mean the job-specific trainings to the newcomers. And it also fills out those header sections that I just shown you in the Word template containing the department roles. So who is the data security partner, who is the ESD coordinator, and so on. And by implementing a digital signature possibility, we managed to make the whole onboarding process completely online. And the tracking of the onboarding progress is now done within the tool. Yeah, sure, we needed to think about what kind of roles do we need to implement. The first role was the QMK. They were the ones who collected all the physical training plan papers, but now within the tool, this role is a little bit changed. They are the ones who are maintaining the organizational hierarchy. They are maintaining the business unit or department level training lists, and they define who fulfills which department role, who is the HR business partner, the ESD representative, and so on. We have a separate role for the supervisors. The supervisors are maintaining the own groups training lists, and they are the ones who are creating the training plans themselves within the tool. But they can delegate these roles to mentors, proxies, or training list maintainers. And as well, we have the associate itself, who is mainly receiving the training plan and filling out the completion dates of the trainings. This website is live and working in our location. I don't want to go very deep into the technical details, but this is an ASP.NET web application using my SQL database with Entity Framework and MVC5. And the most important thing to know about this site is every affected user is able to use it with a very minimum of knowledge. So everything is straightforward in the tool, and every affected person in the onboarding process is able to create or manage their own training plans. Of course, if somebody needs to have a physical instance of a training plan for whatever reasons, they are able to export these documents, these training plans into PDF documents that can be printed out, and these will be pretty conform to the format that was given to us by the Agile Business Department in the form of the Word template that I've just shown you. So in this way, we did not violate any internal processes, yet we managed to significantly improve the onboarding quality. Of course, this tool is creating a lot of further opportunities. So with having a digital software equipment for managing the onboarding plans, we could build in an automatic notification system in it. There's an automatic deadline calculation for all the trainings. The tool can differentiate between a trainee and a full-time employee, because a trainee does not necessarily have such trainings that a full-time employee needs to have. There can be checklists assigned to newcomers and to mentors as well. There's a search and copy function for training list contents for other departments, other groups. There is a built-in approval or decline system for training lists and training plans. And from the management point of view, this is also very beneficial to have something extra feature built in the tool, which is the so-called one-click overview generation. So as a manager, I am able to see the current onboarding status of my organizational unit, which was just simply not possible with the former paper-based onboarding plan solution. But what about from the financial side? I have to share the information with you that developing this tool took 4 months of work from 4 engineering colleagues who dedicated 20% of their work time to work on this tool. And this means practically that 1 month for 4 engineers was spent to implement the whole tool. Is it worth it? Well, if we look at the numbers, formally, creating the physical paper instance of the training plan took nearly 1 hour for a manager, but with the tool, it is just 1 minute or even less. And in case of our department, we had nearly 30 newcomers entering in each month into our location. So if we are calculating with the engineering fee of the employees, you can do the math. In each year, we managed to now save more than 20,000 euros by having this tool developed and maintaining it to be working for our department. And not just our department, other departments outside of our business unit managed to have a look at this tool, and they decided to introduce it to their own organization unit. So this means that now the tool's potential users is increased to nearly 2,000 in Robert Bosch, Hungary, and it is not yet the end. And still, let alone, we had significant quality improvement as well. We managed to increase the quality of the onboarding. We eliminated all the paperwork. We support the mentoring further itself. And it is pretty easy now to prepare for an audit from the onboarding point of view. So the question was, is it worth to operate such a team which deals with making the processes of the company more effective and easier? Well, from the numbers, it is pretty clear that if your company invests in improving the efficiency, the expenditures pay off. So what do you think about this? Do you see the potential of having such continuous improvement supported with the form of a specific team from software tool development side? Thank you very much for your attention. And then if you have anything to ask, then I'm here and free. So thank you very much for the attention.
Yes, thank you for your talk, Miklos. And we have about 4 minutes of time. So if anyone wants to ask questions, please press the Ask to Share Audio and Video button, and I can bring you online and you can ask a question. In the meantime, I would like to ask my question is how much COVID contributed to driving this effort, or was it completely independent of COVID, since you actually mentioned physical paper and signing, which sounds like something really hard in COVID times?
Well, the question is valid, and we were on the lucky side because this tool was developed first and introduced 2 years ago. So it was the year before COVID, 2019. But yes, of course, we just felt all the benefits that we had this tool already available in the last year, that we could not physically make the papers, make the signatures. So yeah, I don't want to say that we foreseen the COVID, but it was pretty beneficial to have this tool already available in an organization.
I just think of all the posting costs that you saved up on, right?
Well, it's even not just doubled, it can be further. So this saving can come yearly. So far it is, yeah, doubled or tripled, but as the years will pass, it will be even more return.
Yeah, I agree. So we still don't have anyone who wants to join in. You can also ask questions in the Q&A if you want to. So if you are just shy and don't want to come online. And how big of a team has worked on this tool, by the way? What was the total cost in terms of engineers?
You mean what could be the engineering fee that we calculated with implementing the tool, or?
Yeah, something like that. Like, but how many people were working on it? That's maybe that's easier to ask.
From the development team point of view, it was 4 team members. But of course, we had a contact person from the quality group, and we had a PO as well. So basically, in overall, 6 people were involved in it, but 4 people actively contributed in the development of this tool. So yeah, and as I mentioned, it took 5 months of work, but with a 20% of effort. So in this way, it was in overall 1 month of work for 4 engineering colleagues overall.
I see. Okay, well, our time is up, and no one was trying to ask questions. So thank you for your talk. It's been a pleasure, and have a happy rest of the conference.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best. Goodbye.
Goodbye.